What could you use a slime for? Find out their uses as we look at the grace of gods. Hello and welcome to That Man. That is me merchandise, and today we are looking at another light novel by the grace of the gods. Now, first up, huge thank you to G Novel Club for reaching out and giving me a review copy of this title. It's much appreciated. Make sure you check them out if you like manga and light novels. They've got an absolute fantastic subscription-based service, which I will leave a link in the description below. Make sure you check them out and check out some of their fantastic titles. By the Grace of the Gods is another Isekai. That's right, we're getting plenty of them, and honestly, keep them coming, because Isekai is one of my genres that I seem to always get a lot of mileage out of. I always seem to enjoy some of the wacky and unique ways that we can see the Isekai genre devolving into. Sure, we'll get the ones where they're just kind of, oh, it's another Isekai, it's just kind of an Isekai for the sake of Isekai, but we will get some that not only are interesting, but they manage to put the genre into a new direction. By the Grace of the Gods, he's kind of like one of them. Similar to titles such as Tanya the Evil and Ascendance of a Bookworm, this is an older person who unfortunately dies and is reborn as a child. So a young man, Ryuma, he is unfortunately killed, and he is transported to the heavenly realm. There he comes across three gods who explain the crack, basically. He's kind of just like, oh, okay then, that's fair. I've had a decent life so far. I've had all this and this and this happen to us, and they're quite shocked. They're quite shocked at how calm he is. They usually say, well, you know, it's usually like the first few years it takes before people can even comprehend the fact that they've died in such a sudden way. They befriend him. He befriends the gods, and he is given an option. You can go to another world and we'll kind of give you a cover story and you get a new chance to start things again. And he agrees. He's kind of just like, oh yeah, that's fine. I'm more than happy with that. Thanks for the opportunity. It kind of feels like a bit of a job for him. I suppose it kind of is in some ways. In order to give this planet a little bit more magic energy, they have to transfer someone from the normal world to this special world, and they only do it every now and again, and like his one and only job is like literally just go to this world. And so they're just like, okay, we'll send you to this world, we'll give you, you know, a nice little care package and some nice little special skills, and you can do whatever you want with them. And he's reborn as a young child and essentially lives in the forest for a few years. While in the forest, Ryuma decides to start and research a slime. He encounters a slime just struggling against the current of the water. Because they're so weak, they end up just getting, they fall into the water, they just get blown away, or they just get travelled by the current. He saves the slime and manages to tame it. As the story goes on, as the first few chapters go on, he soon discovers that he can tame multiple slimes. And one of the interesting things about this is that these slimes, he discovers that the slimes can do different things. Give a slime some horrible bathwater, some filthy bathwater, it'll eat it up and, well, clean it up and evolve into a cleaner slime. Multiple other slimes also do the same. They evolve into different ways under set conditions. For example, some poisonous things can turn a slime into a poison slime. If you have it under certain conditions, it might turn into like a metal slime. Yeah, we're kind of getting the whole kind of Dragon Quest vibe here, where there's all these different slimes. Combine so many slimes and they'll become a powerful king slime. Or just a bigger slime in this case. And that's what hooked me with this series. Not so much the main character. In fact, the main character, he's fine. He's kind of fine. The thing I don't really like about it is that because he lives by himself for a few years, and he's kind of had originally an awkward upbringing and kind of isolated upbringing, he doesn't know how to talk to other people. And for me, it was a little bit off-putting having a character who's just like, go here, can't communicate well. And it really threw me out of it a little bit at times. It wasn't bad, it was just kind of, it was different. Rather than having a character who can converse with other people, we have a socially awkward person. And while that was interesting in a way, it just, I don't know, it just didn't hit much home for me. It was kind of, like I said, it was fine, but I think the way it was presented in the text, it was just kind of, it kind of was a difficult read more than anything else. And that's the only negative thing I really had with the series, was that the main character, because of the way he talks, because of the lack of social options, it was a little bit of an awkward read at that aspect. But it's not a problem, because he's soon surrounded by plenty of other people. While it may have been a few years in this character's life, for the reader it's only a few chapters before other people start encountering Ryoma. First they encounter him in the forest, and he befriends a few soldiers, a few noblemen, and it's not before long that he's taken out of the safety of the forest and thrown into the real world, by which I would mean a fantasy isekai real world. The towns, the villages. And then we start and get the usual tropes in an isekai, by which we mean, you know, the guilds. I wonder how many isekai we've kind of seen now where a character is just thrown into a new situation and is just like, okay, you're going to have to earn a living, you're going to have to do all of this. But the twist here is that he brings all of his slimes along. He has some degree of magic powers. In fact, he kind of is a jack of all trades but a master of none. He can use pretty much any magic element, for example, earth, fire, water, light, dark. He can use all of them as it is, but he can't master them. He can kind of just do enough to get things by. Think kind of Kazuma from Konosuba, where he manages to do little things. He can light a stove, or he can create a chair out of earth. He can do little things here and there, but the real power is his ability to tame all of these slimes. Ryoma has managed to discover things with the slimes that no one else could. And he has advanced slime research by God knows how many years. He's discovered stuff. One thing I did absolutely love about the whole guild thing though, is rather than the usual apply for a guild, get the job, then go and be overpowered against this obscure monster that's came out of nowhere and you're super powerful, he gets the crap jobs. He literally gets the crap jobs. His first job is cleaning the basement of a house that is next to a landfill. Because he has his slimes, because he has his special magic powers, he soon discovers that he can take the crap jobs that nobody else wants to take. And you know what? I love that. I love that as an aspect. I love that it was so different to anything else that I've read, because normally we just get the whole usual fighting monsters, but no, we are keeping the whole idea that not only Ryoma but the slimes and everything else around him is actually genuinely important. It's not an overpowered isekai. It kind of is, but it doesn't feel like everything is all on Ryoma's shoulders. The power comes from his ability to tame these slimes and what the slimes can do that no other slimes can do. For example, we do get the whole healing slime, so if he's as a character who's unwell, he can cure them. If there's a character, obviously for the basement next to the landfill, it's discovered that the landfill has destroyed a bit of the wall and he's going to have to clean it up using the purifying slimes that love the filth and the disgusting habitats. He soon is tasked with cleaning the sewers, and it all feels like it falls into place. I love this aspect of him doing the jobs that nobody else seems to want to, because he has that ability. Other series managed to do this whole thing with guilds where they have, oh well, you know, we're going to be a guild person and we're going to fight monsters, and that's what everybody does because that's what the job is in a fantasy world. But yes, he is in the guild, but he's going to be doing the jobs that nobody else wants. And it's not that nobody just doesn't want to fight a monster, it's the fact that people just couldn't handle the smell, they couldn't handle the filth and the grime and the potential disease. By the Grace of Gods is an absolute fantastic title, and I was really happy that I got to read it. There is an anime announced, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. And you know what? I will 100% be continuing on with this with my J Novel Club subscription. It's a fantastic title that is tackling things that we don't normally see in an isekai, but also retaining the whole familiarity. We are getting the whole reborn into another world trope. We are getting the child prodigy trope that we've seen in other titles. But by the grace of the gods, it manages to stand out and does things a lot different than other titles might. Because of that, it is a unique title that I would 100% recommend at least trying out. But that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments what you thought of it, and if you have read it, are you excited for the anime? Are you looking forward to seeing how it turns out? And if you did like this, leave a like, consider subscribing, and I will see you next time. Thank you for coming, and thanks again for staying. Goodbye.